Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset, Money, Success. And I'm your host, Loraine Marshall. Now today, I want to get into a subject that has been confusing professionals for a while. And I've recognised that in posts on LinkedIn, professionals are questioning who is the real victim, when you've got one person on one side saying one thing and the other person on the other side saying something else. And so today's the episode is going to be about that topic. And the title is, Will the Real Victim Please Stand Up? Hello, it's Loraine here. And before we get into today's podcast, let me tell you about Skool. It's the all-in-one platform that coaches, trainers and creators like us use to share content, engage our audience and build recurring revenue. Whether you're through free membership or paid subscriptions, think $10 to $50 a month or even high-ticket upsells. Skool makes it stupidly simple. There's highly engaged communities. No more ghost towns. Charge monthly or keep it free. You decide. Zero hidden fees. It's just $99 a month after your first 14-day free trial, and you can cancel at any time. Unlimited members, courses and content, all with mobile app to keep your community connected. And the best part, you own the relationship. No algorithms burying your posts. Just your people, your content, your revenue. Are you ready to build your empire? You can grab a free trial and I'll drop the link in the show notes or below the video. Let's get you paid for what you already know. So how can professionals tell who is the real victim after a relationship with a narcissist ends? Let me start by taking a quote from Dr. Ramani. The quote is, "I believe all domestic abusers are narcissistic, without exception. The capacity to tell someone, I love you, I'm going to care for you, we're in a relationship, and then emotionally, physically, and sexually assault them. That's zero empathy. That's incredible arrogance. That's narcissism." So in my own experience, narcissists are master manipulators. They lie, cheat, and give false narratives. They will rewrite history, project blame, and gaslight their victims. Often the abuse does not stop when the relationship ends. It doesn't matter if the narcissist discards their victim or if the survivor learns the truth and makes an escape from a toxic behaviour. Survivors of any form of domestic abuse, including emotional and psychological abuse, coercive, controlling behaviour, will be left mourning the loss of the relationship. A survivor will be grieving. They will be more isolated from family and friends that they shared with the narcissist. Survivors will appear angry at what happened to them. They will blame themselves because all through the relationship the narcissist blamed them for anything and everything. Survivors who make allegations against the narcissist are not believed. A narcissist is charming, caring, a generous man, an attentive father, and the survivor is seen as a woman scorned. She is spiteful. She's seeking revenge because he cheated and moved on to a new life. The behaviour of the survivor may also influence the community and the professionals involved, as they appear emotionally dysregulated, angry, sad, depressed, even to the point that they have no will to live. False victim versus true victim. The true victim will be suffering anxiety, insomnia, and post-traumatic stress. They will be in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Often, a true victim will have lost all sense of self. True victims will go through the grieving process, shock, denial, anger, and moving through to acceptance. There may be periods of deep sadness, uncontrolled crying, panic attacks, and also verbal anger when they try to express the situation that they have experienced. True victims are re-traumatised by the professionals who are meant to support them. False victim narcissists will be calm. They will be able to communicate their issues that they have perceived as them being wronged. They appear smooth, cool, and detached. A narcissistic false victim will have moved on with their lives. They will declare a new relationship immediately or within weeks of separating. They will not show any respect, empathy, or compassion. There will be a complete lack of understanding towards the true victim. Narcissists will display an attitude of wanting to win at all costs. When you ask the victim what happened, the true victim, they will be foggy, forgetful, inarticulate. They will show confusion. Their words and thoughts are all over the place. They are chaotic, disjointed. You can even see them stop and question the absurdity and the validity of their own story. In my experience, I knew there had been abuse. I did not comprehend how much abuse that I had suffered. I knew I had made excuses. I knew I had brushed the bad behaviour under the carpet. The realisation and the understanding came as a huge shock. I never wanted to be seen as a victim. Even when I went to the Guardia to file a gender violence complaint on the advice of the lawyer I saw, I had no idea how to explain what I had experienced. I told them it was emotional and psychological abuse. When I later discovered that not wanting to report abuse is a significant issue, I read In Control, Dangerous Relationships and How They End in Murder by Professor Jane Monckton Smith. She recounts the story of a woman who refused to leave the house to get medical attention when it was obvious to the police that there had been domestic violence incident. Many women are so fearful, or in the case of emotional and psychological abuse, trauma bonded, that they do not want to report their ex-spouse or boyfriend as they still have deep attachment, thinking it is love. I never wanted conflict from the start. It was never my intention to be in the Guardia station to report a crime of domestic abuse or gender violence, as it's known in Spain. I never wanted conflict from the start. I hoped that there would have been meaningful discussion, negotiations, and a way forward where I could start over and rebuild my life while still living in Spain with some financial security in retirement. Instead, I was given false promises, a dangling carrot, fear and uncertainty, threats and intimidation. When the court heard the gender violence allegations, it was reported as one minor verbal abuse. I did not understand what had been put to the judge. I did not understand how the Spanish justice system worked. 4 months After the first hearing, a second hearing took place, and 3 months later, the verdict from the male judge was case dismissed. So not wanting to be seen as a victim came true. The justice system did not see me as a victim. Now, let's ask the false victim what happened. They portray their victim as crazy, twist the truth, fabricate statements, manipulate the professionals. They will use a technique known as deny the abuse, attack the real victim, reverse victim and offender. The false victim will have no difficulty at all in reporting the perceived wrongdoings. Narcissists will report false allegations and hope their victim is taken away to a psychiatric hospital or even arrested by police and later imprisoned. To repeat from a Dr. Ramani quote earlier, zero empathy and tremendous entitlement, plus a lack of morals. There will be incidents where the false victim will take legal action against the true victim in family courts, fighting over property, financial settlements, and children. There are many books on the subject of divorcing a narcissist. Other cases have involved narcissists claiming defamation when survivors speak out about their experiences. You can read an article in Equality Now, Weaponising Defamation Lawsuits Against Survivors. I will leave the link in the show notes and in the description below this video. It is considered as to be a secondary victimization. When survivors speak out, their experience are a matter of public interest, as in the defamation case of Lee versus Brown, which I followed with interest on Twitter, now X. The life of the false victim versus the life of a true victim. The false victim does not share their stories with other survivors. They don't endure the traumatic symptoms of post-traumatic stress. They don't hang out in support groups. Narcissists have a completely new life. They will have shared images of their new relationship on social media, and they will still have family and friends around them. The narcissist will not be protesting that they are victimized or that they have suffered any form of injustice. On the other hand, the true victim of the narcissistic domestic abuse will not be thinking of jumping into a new relationship. They are looking to heal from the trauma that they have no interest in dating anyone new. They would likely want to seek counselling or therapy, which is highly recommended. In my experience, real victims are shocked, hurt, living in fear, broken by abuse, mostly unsupported, emotionally and financially devastated. The stronger and more courageous victim survivors will speak out, want to raise awareness, and even try to warn the next victim. This only happens when the victim has recovered some of their lost confidence and self-esteem, which can be a slow process. True victims isolate themselves. Typically, the true victim survivor of narcissistic abuse isolates themselves and only interact with a very few close personal friends or family. Quite often, a person has become isolated within this relationship because of the coercive controlling behaviour of a partner. In my experience, I blamed myself after the relationship ended. There were lots of If only. Many true victims would be in this position of self-blame. In the relationship, a victim often repeats the words "sorry" to their abusive partner every time anger or rage is directed towards them. Why do victims feel responsible for creating the anger? Narcissists are already angry. It's in their personality. If you want to support me and help me in my mission to raise awareness of hidden forms of abuse in intimate relationships, you can share my content. Consider buying my book or make a donation. All of those links will be in the show notes or under this video. Thank you for listening of this subject today, which is will the real victim please stand up? Hope you enjoyed this episode and listen out for next week's episode. Bye for now.